They say men go through a midlife crisis, but what about hers? No, I'm not talking about the classic cliché with the sports car or the new wardrobe. I'm talking about the silent explosion happening inside her mind. The moment when validation becomes as essential as oxygen, when control feels like the only way to survive, and when her ego finally declares, "I don't need him anymore." This is the unspoken truth about what happens to many women after 40 when the female ego doesn't just fade away. It erupts. Think back to her 20s and 30s. Her ego was quiet because it was constantly being fed without even trying. Compliments were a daily occurrence. Men pursued her. She could walk into a room and command attention just by being there. For years, she floated along on this current of admiration. It felt so normal, so natural, that she didn't even realize that external validation had become her lifeblood, the very rhythm of her heartbeat. She built a life, marriage, kids, a career all centered around being needed, wanted, and seen. Her reflection in the mirror would smile back, confirming, "You've still got it." But then, ever so slowly, the world starts to change. The applause isn't as loud as it used to be. The eyes that once followed her every move now seem to look right through her. And that's the precise moment when the quiet, dormant ego begins to stir and wake up. Around the age of 40, a powerful collision occurs between biology and psychology. Hormonally, things are shifting. Socially, especially in the eyes of the dating market, her perceived value might decline. But her ego, it defiantly refuses to age. It holds on to the memory of its prime. She looks at younger women receiving the kind of attention she once took for granted, and a quiet, insistent voice whispers from deep within, "That used to be me." Suddenly, the game isn't about finding love or connection anymore. It's about fighting for relevance. And when a woman who has spent her entire adult life thriving on admiration starts to feel invisible, her ego doesn't just go quietly into the night. It gears up for a fight. This is when you start to see the outward signs. The sudden dramatic shift in confidence, the new, bold haircut, the sudden obsession with the gym, not just for health, but for aesthetics. The endless stream of selfies, carefully curated with filters, accompanied by captions like, "Living my best life" or "Finding myself." She tells herself, and everyone else, that this is about empowerment. But if we look closer, what she's really trying to do is resurrect the intoxicating feeling of being desired. The ego pipes up, telling her, "You deserve more, more attention, more excitement, more freedom." And if her husband isn't providing that constant stream of validation, she quickly discovers that the internet will. She opens social media, posts a single photo, and within minutes, the notifications start pouring in. Ping, 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 ping. It's an instant flood of validation. The ego is fed, and she's hooked all over again. The only problem is, this new source of validation is a bottomless pit. It's never truly satisfied. And here's the critical part that so many men fail to understand. When the female ego takes the driver's seat, logic and reason are thrown into the back. To justify this new identity and her quest for validation, she begins to rewrite the history of her relationship. Her husband, who may have been a steady and loving partner for decades, is suddenly cast as the villain. The narrative changes. "He doesn't appreciate me," she say. "He's just so boring and holds me back." Or the classic, "I just need space to find myself." But what she's really trying to find isn't a new version of herself. It's the old feeling she had when the world revolved around her. The great irony is that the more she chases this idea of empowerment through external validation, the more hollow and empty she often feels. Because external validation is like a drug, the high is intense, but it never, ever lasts. This is why so many long-term marriages seem to collapse out of the blue, leaving the man completely blindsided. He doesn't see it coming. One day, everything seems fine. The next, she's packed her bags and is talking about outgrowing him. But what really happened is that her ego outgrew the marriage. The deep roots of family, the comfort of stability, the quiet strength of loyalty, none of it can compete with the addictive thrill of being seen and desired again, even if it's by strangers online. The family unit she helped build can't give her the same rush as a flattering comment from a man she has never met. But here's the saddest part of the entire story. That same ego, the one that convinced her she could do better and deserved more, will one day turn on her. In the quiet moments, after the initial excitement has worn off, it will whisper a new haunting question. After all this, why am I still not happy? The raw truth is this: the ego doesn't care about love. It doesn't care about connection or partnership. The ego cares about one thing and one thing only: feeling superior. And for a woman hitting her 40s after years of giving, sacrificing, and nurturing others, that ego can feel like it does demanding revenge for all the times she felt overlooked or taken for granted. But the brutal, inescapable irony is that the very moment she allows her ego to take the lead, she begins to lose the one thing she was truly chasing all along: genuine, lasting connection. The female ego doesn't fade with age. It just learns how to scream louder and in new, more destructive ways. And unless she learns to recognize and quiet that voice, it won't just dismantle her marriage, it will ultimately destroy her own inner peace. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about placing blame or spreading negativity. It's about fostering awareness. Because if you, as a man, can understand the powerful undercurrents at play beneath the surface, you can stop feeling confused and blindsided, and you can start being prepared. The truth often sounds offensive to those who have built their lives on a foundation of external validation. But the men who can see this pattern clearly are the ones who are best equipped to navigate it and maybe even survive it. Thank you for watching and for being open to this conversation. If this resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more insights. We'd love to have you as part of our community.